All right. All right. Let's go into it. I've been just going crazy with this. We're going to do a theory and how Loki season 6 could possibly end and all this stuff and how we could get rid of Kang if need be and yada, yada, yada and all this information because it's driving me crazy. The finale's in like 4 days. Let's get into the video. So, first up, I think the first one is obvious. I'm going to put it on the screen right here. Official Thor account posted this clip from Marvel Studios' Thor 2008 with the caption on Instagram, and it was a clock. The clip features Odin saying to Loki and Thor, "But both of you were born to be kings." Now, we obviously can assume that Loki is going to be king at the end of time. He who remains, God of stories. I mean, he literally said it out loud. Like, there's no other way, shape, and form. Like, it's right there, okay? So, remember that. Number 2, there's supposed to be a sacrifice. I'm going to post this up here. Spoiler, Loki. If Obi had already written the entire story of season 2, according to the sticky notes on his wall, there's going to be a sacrifice. And it's circled with a 7 and it says, sacrifice must be given up. I'm assuming, and hear me out, the obvious you're going to say is Sylvie, but I don't think it's Sylvie. I think the obvious is going to be, it's another character. Duh. Whether or not, we know they're going to end back up in the Citadel. He who remains, like he literally said, I paved the way. You just walked down it. So obviously the events of season 1 leading to He Who Remains is there. Now, obviously He Who Remains has plans. He had a contingency plan where he gave his minutes, the book, to give to Victor Timely. Once again, He Who Remains created the TVA. Say with it as you will, Victor Timely is an anomaly who was made off of a branch timeline. It is what it is. So, with that being said, I feel like I would love to say it would be Sylvie because the actress said, it was great playing this character and I don't see her really going any further. But once again, she could be getting a happy ending. We don't know. Now, huge stuff. I was going back over scoopers and this one caught my mind. You may know him. He's pretty accurate. Let's go over Alex from Cosmic Circus with this photo. The loom is a lie. Now, hear me out. The end of episode 5, or the beginning of episode 5, because episode 4, we see the loom at the end of episode 4 blow up, and we see this white light, right? Boom. Everything's gone. Everybody's out of TVA. They're all sent back to wherever they were, and we're like, what? Now, I was reading through the comments, and this one caught my eye. Check this out. I knew it. The loom isn't really needed. Only TVA needs it. The multiverse is well without it. Now, I've been thinking this because obviously with TV spots and, a trailer and whatnot, we see there's a certain part where Loki seems to be walking into the loom, right? Now, we know he's going to get his iconic suit. We've seen it with the Funko Pop thing. We've seen it on the pictures. There was leaked merchandise. Just so much. We know it's coming. It's at the back of one of my comic books. Like, we know it's coming. So, I feel like he's going to, when he goes into the loom, it's going to, happen. And that's how he survives outside. Because he's not wearing a suit. Let's be real now. Now, with it not being real, from what we understood from that episode, is everything was going haywire. And the loom blew up and it erased everything. The branches, everything. And they were slowly rebuilding or whatever was going on. So we can assume that that is a contingency plan from He Who Remains. And that is how the multiverse is staying dormant. Now, this has a big thing with my theory. Okay? So, I think we can assume that at the very end, they're going to go back to the Citadel. Once again, they're going to fight. They're going to have to realize, okay, because there was a certain part where where He Who Remains goes. And it's that boom. And he's like, I fibbed. Or, I fibbed. And he's like, I don't know what happens now. I knew until a certain point, which was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds ago. He doesn't know what's past that. And with Loki, I'm assuming is going to start rewriting the events in time and whatnot. That is the point that Loki is supposed to take over, believe it or not. That's what I think. I think that's where we're going with this. I think Loki is going to take over at that point in time. And whether Kang is disposed or Kang sits there or we don't know, I think he's going to be erased. And hear me out. With the whole Majors stuff and all that going around, this is the perfect way to get rid of him. let's get into this because I feel like this is going to be the most important part, and this will tie in everything if I'm correct. So, Endgame happens. Stark has that heart attack because Ant-Man pulls the cord and he starts fibbing out. Drops the Tesseract. Loki picks it up. Disappears. Take in mind, that is during the events of 2012's Avengers 1. Okay? Remember that year. Just remember that year. Loki's taken away. Loki goes to the TVA. Now, this is all Loki season 1. It's paving out. He Who Remains paved all this out, right? Then you get to the end. You can either take over my spot and continue my life's work, and I can finally rest, or you can plunge your blade into my chest, and all chaos will come out, and you'll meet my variants. And they're not all as nice as me. So yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, I believe the events of Quantumania, the post-credit scene, when all the council comes out, I think that is exactly at that moment. Because, hear me out, we don't know when that takes place, and we don't know where that takes place. But if you look at it, it seems like it's in the void, because at the very beginning when there's the statue, it's purple cloud. And I don't know if it's Eliath or what that is, but there's a purple cloud up there. So I'm assuming that's when it takes place. Goes into plunge, everything goes into chaos, Loki, yada yada, starts time slipping. At that point, we're at the creation of the TVA. Like I called in episode 5, we go through and we learn all these characters, their names, where they came from, and how they were taken. Then Loki gathers them all up. Time starts evaporating. We're starting to get this like Infinity War kind of snap vibe. Loki decides he can go back and he can save the time. I can rewrite it, Loki says. Episode 6. Send us into the Citadel. He Who Remains is there. Loki and Sylvie, I'm assuming, are fighting. Loki and Sylvie are going to show up again. Loki is going to talk to the other Loki. That's my guess. Once again, I don't know, because, you know, it's just weird. Like, if it's a loop, like Tina says, then I'm assuming what's going to happen. And then Loki is going to choose, right? At the end, I feel like Loki is going to erase He Who Remains' mind. He's going to turn into Kang the Conqueror. If you ever read Kang Wars or Kang Dynasty, at the end, when they go through and they fight all the different Kangs and whatnot, there's a baby Kang. And Vision takes him and leaves him in like Guatemala or Mexico or somewhere with a tribe where he will grow up and he will just be a normal person and he will know nothing. That's just Kang. His destiny is undecided right now. Well, once again, that time frame where, you know, He Who Remains doesn't remember, I'm assuming that's Loki's part to take place and to push the multiverse. Now, once again, like I said, with a contingency plan, I think if that loom blows up, like he actually gets rid of that loom, the multiverse is free. And it makes sense because, hear me out, once again, this all takes place, and my theory, or whatever you want to call this, that I keep thinking, before the multiverse, because we never actually get the multiverse. We, in episode 3, we get branches of the 616, and it says 616 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 616 7 8 9 2 3 4 5 9 12 mollywop, and it goes on and it goes on. It's all 616. So that timeline is isolated from everything else. It's keeping everything else out. They can't find it. They have no idea where anything else is. So I'm assuming there's no multiverse at that point. That ends. No Way Home. Multiverse of Madness. All of Phase 4. All of Phase 5. Then it all happens. I feel like that Loki, because Loki's consecutive. 1 and 2 take place at the same time. And then you have the multiversal saga. That's my guess. And, you know, Kang being wiped into He Who Remains, or King the Conqueror, no memory, send him down into the quantum realm, prevent Janet from being there, yada, yada, yada. Or that all happened, and it, once again, it's a loop. And now he gets down there, and he just grows old with all those people. Knows nothing ever happened. Continue on. You can bring in Stark Doom. You can bring in Annihilus. You can bring whatever you want. Bring us into that, and that literally could wipe away Kang. We would never need to see Kang again. Like, simple. But once again, I just feel like I've been thinking about this so much, and I feel like it's like the best possible way to just be like, oh, let's get rid of Kang. Wipe him out. I mean, if it's based off of that comic, I mean, the comic series, then you don't have Kang Dynasty. You have Doom Dynasty, or I don't know. You know, time runs out, it all ends, and Secret Wars. Ta-da! Let me know what you think down below. I feel like that's a smart route. Catch you in the next one.